Okay, so I've been canning for quite a few years, and I'm always watching videos of other people's canning just for inspiration. And my daughter keeps on telling me, "Mom, you should do it." So I just decided I'll just do it and put it out there for anybody that wants to use my videos for inspiration. So today I'm going to make some salsa. I'm using canned diced tomatoes. In the past, I grew lots of tomatoes, and I said, oh, I'm going to make pasta sauce and salsa and have enough, but it takes a whole lot of tomatoes and to make enough salsa that you need for your family if you have a family that likes to eat it all the time, and a whole lot of tomatoes to make spaghetti sauce and your tomato soups and your tomato bases for a lot of your foods. And so, yes, I do have a garden and I grow my own tomatoes, but it'll never be enough of what I need. So for salsa, I have started using cans, and that's just what I do. So, okay, I'm going to come over here and take you to my kitchen in just a bit. I apologize for the lighting in my camera, but I only have a little tablet, and that's what I'm using. So, right now, I'm chopping up cilantro. And this recipe is just a made-up one. You can do, when it comes to salsa, you can do anything you want. Put anything in it. You just have to make sure your acid level is low enough if you're going to water bath. So, when I first started doing this, I would take pH strips just to make sure. And that's something that gave me confidence in knowing how much of your acid that you need. And you can mix your acids. You can do your lemons and your vinegars and your limes. You can mix it up with however ratio you want. It just needs to be high enough to be able to water bath. So, and you just want low pH. So you can trust me, but it's always good to test it yourself, because I make this up as I go along and I put whatever I want in it. So these are the canned diced tomatoes I'm using, and I chose salsa style just because if you do regular dice, you have to, put an immersion blender in there and chop it up a little bit more, which you can do, but this just makes it a little bit easier for me, so I don't have to do that. Okay, and I'm going to be canning in 1.5 jars, and when you do 1.5 jars, you can the quart times. So, and I got a big giant bag of onions at the grocery store. It's huge, like this big. It's huge, and it was only $9. So that means I'm making lots of salsa and lots of other things that call for onion right now. Okay, let me get to chopping some onions and I'll be back. All right. So I chopped up a bunch of onions, and I like a lot of onion in my salsa, so you may not, you don't have to put as much. You can put however much onion you want, but I average about 5 onions, large onions, per can, and I'm using 3 cans. 1, 2, 3. And then I shall be cutting up some jalapenos now. And, I'm not much for measuring. I don't measure very good. So, I just do to taste mostly. I apologize. I can't give you exact numbers, but I'd say about 2 pounds of jalapenos I'm going to add in there because I like it spicy. This is a whole lot, so it really won't be that spicy. Jalapenos aren't that spicy to me. But, you can substitute bell peppers or put a mixture of peppers. It's whatever your heart's desires.
and however you like the taste of salsa. If I were you, I'd maybe start off with a small batch and taste it. See if that's how you like it before you commit to a big giant batch. But I've made salsa for years now, and this is just, once you get it down, you just kind of just throw everything together, you know what I mean? I never wear gloves, and I always regret it. But you know, I find that if I rub my hands in oil instead of water afterwards, it takes away the spice a lot easier. And I started doing that because I do make a lot of medicinal things that use oil as a carrier oil, and oils absorb tannins. Figured that out and put it on my hands, and sure enough, it worked. Took away the spice off my hands. I mean, it's still there for a little bit, but better than water. So I just can't stand gloves. I just, the texture, I just wash my hands real well and go on from there. And my family's the one that's eating this, and it's getting cooked, so not a big deal. All right, I got all of these in my little ninja chopper thingy. I'll be spinning this up, and then add these, and then I will add a bunch of garlic. And the garlic, you know, you can either add the whole cloves, which is, I think I'm going to save these for my spaghetti sauce, because it's a lot of work and labor intensive. And salsa, you can get away with just the store-bought minced garlic, and I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get it out of the fridge and put that in there. Put a bunch of that store-bought minced garlic in there. It'll be just fine. And then we just got to add our acids and our spices, and I'll be getting those out in just a jiffy. So I'm going to pause you real fast. Alright, so I got my big pot over here. Bring it on over here. Okay, now I have just a couple, like 3 or 4 bushels of cilantro chopped up. I just chop that up by hand. I just like it in big chunks, you know. I like it in big old chunks in there. You can chop it up small or big, doesn't matter. Here's my peppers and onions. I'm going to pour it on in here. It's a lot of pepper and onion. It cooks down though. Cooks down real good. There we go. So let's see. We got let's do our garlic. I'm going to do the minced garlic here. And again, I don't measure, and I'm sorry. I just, you know, it's all to taste. So, if you want measurements, go get a cookbook. If I made a cookbook, it'd just be like, handful of this. But that's just what I do. Alright, so, like, I got a big spoon, big serving spoon. And I'm going to plop 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 cans of tomatoes. I think I'll do 3 big teaspoons, or big spoons, serving spoons of this garlic per can. Because you can never have enough garlic. 1, 2, 3. And then another 1, 2, 3. Good. Alright, so get my can opener out of this drawer right here. And we're going to do the diced tomatoes. Salsa cut, so I don't have to do any extra cutting. But any old diced tomatoes will do ya. So let's see. maybe you're curious about who I am. My name is Miss Stacy, and I have 3 children, 2 of which are adults now. A 24-year-old and a 23-year-old, gonna be 20. Oh no, she's 22, gonna be 23. So pour that in here. And then I have a young one, which is 16, gonna be 17. My oldest son, which is 24, heading on to 25, is a Marine. So he's employed right now. And my daughter, which she graduated from college when she was 21 with a bachelor's degree and a minor, and she became an archaeologist for a bit. And then with everything going on, there's not much want for archaeology work, and traveling is not something you can do at the moment. So she's going to grad school up in Florida and changing her career path to clinical mental health. So then my youngest, and I think this is the reason for her career choice, is my youngest is a special needs. So you might see him in and out of here. And, you know, he's just a little different because of his needs. So don't mind him. He's sleeping right now. Got the days and nights mixed up. Anyways, that's probably why, I know that's why she's chose that path. She wants to be able to help her brother. So, makes me teary-eyed. Anywho, that's that. And I've been married. Shoot, my anniversary was just the other day. I've been married for 26 years to my high school sweetheart. He and I met. I was 14 when we met. We got married when I was 18. I didn't even graduate from high school when we got married. That's just how it was back then, you know. My parents, my grandma, my mom were like, "You guys are up to no good. You better be getting married." So before I knew it, I was married. That's okay. I love him, and we've been together thick and thin for all these years. And I stay home, take care of my son. And we do a lot of homesteading things for the last 17 years. And you know, a lot of that got ramped up in medicinal herbs and growing all that and just doing all of our own food when our son, his needs became more apparent a few years ago. So we want to just be able to be as healthy as we can, especially for him. But again, you know, I let him have a few things here and there, little treats like some soda once in a while. You know, I'm not like all about just being all healthy, which, you know, there's an evenness to everything. He's such a good boy, he deserves it. Anyways, we'd raised goats for 15 years, and with my kids grown and gone, I just don't want to do it no more. So we don't have no goats anymore. Just cutting the hooves and take care of them. It's just me, you know, I already have a full plate in my hands. So, we just do chickens, rabbits, and ducks for a few years now, and that's just right for us. You know, if I was younger, no, I look young. My daughter says I look young. If I was younger, I might do a cow here and there, but you know, now it's just us with my son at home, my youngest. We just buy organic beef at the store. Thinking about doing pigs though. I really am thinking about that. Because we process, our own poultry. I am thinking about doing pigs, but I'm not there yet. It's enough work just doing the chickens and the ducks. So, alright, got that going. Now we're gonna add some spices. Let me get my cabinet here. I got an herb cabinet. I don't know if you can see all the herbs, you can't. Alright, so I'm gonna grab me some. We're gonna do onion powder. I'm gonna do a bunch of onion powder. I like that. Just add it. Won't hurt. Some onion powder and just sprinkle. This thing clumps up. I have to break it up. Break up those pieces here. Just a little onion powder. Help with that onion flavor here that we want. And my hands got all gucky. I've been also redoing my house, trying to make it as clean as possible. And ripping out all that carpet. We've had this carpet in our house for 15 years, and ripping it all out, and I put wood floors in my living room. That was just a lot of work for me. I do everything around here. My husband works, and I like to do projects, so I'm the one that does all that stuff, and he does electrical. I don't do no electrical, but I'll do everything else. I'm the builder. I'm your jack of all trades. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I put that flooring in, just finished that up. Took me a long time. I got it on sale at Lumber Liquidator, and it wasn't. It's that click stuff, and it just wasn't going together. So I ended up they wouldn't take no returns because of COVID, so I couldn't even return it. So I ended up having to glue every single piece of wood together so it wouldn't fall out of the channels that they were trying to click in. Anyways, long story short, got it done, and my living room looks so beautiful now. And I'm just staining my bedroom floors and sealing them, and I only did my room so far, and I'm just tired, and summer's coming, and I'm just going to take a break because I got to focus on the garden and outdoor chores, and I'll pick up where I left off in the fall, redoing the house. Well, the carpet, getting all the rest of the bedrooms done. It's only 3 bedrooms, so I only have 2 more rooms left. Anyways, back to my salsa. Alright, we're going to stir this up here. I put some minced onion, or onion powder, garlic powder, just a little bit. And some recipes call for like thyme, and I just don't like that herb. So you put whatever herbs you want in. It's not going to affect the processing time. What affects the processing time, or how you process, well, I should say, is the acid. So if you don't want to put all the acid in and vinegar, then you're going to have to pressure can it. So, but I like the taste of the vinegar. Let's see, we need to spice this up. We'll put some cumin in here. I got some cumin. Cumin's good. Oh, of course we got a bunch of cumin. I'm just going to shake it on in there. So anyways, my son, my youngest son, he grew up just like all the other kids, nothing wrong, nothing. Around age 10, he had those little differences that that little kid is a little bit quirky, but You know, he was on the soccer team, and all the kids, they just started doing other things. My son was still interested in playing toys, you know. It turned out, we found out he just was on the autism spectrum, but higher functioning, no problem. No, nothing, no big deal. No need for diagnosing or anything. You know, we don't want to label him, or, right? So, but then when he was 13, he got strep throat. And he just, like a light switch, changed overnight. Vocal tics. I thought he, you know, seeing things, repetitive behaviors. All of a sudden he like had Tourette's. He lost the ability to write, to do cursive. He couldn't do school anymore. He lost the ability to tie his shoes. And I took him to the doctor. You know, me being close to my son, I know how he was. I took him to the doctor, and they're like, oh no, it's because he's autistic. At puberty, they go through all this. And, you know, it's not my first rodeo. I have 2 older kids. I know what's normal and what's not. And I know my son, and I know it wasn't his autism. I know that part of him, and that part of him is just fine. You don't wake up overnight acting like a completely different child. Like, it just was... It's hard for me to talk about, but, you know, I'm only saying this because you might see him in here and wonder why he's acting that way. So, anyways, he's asleep right now. I don't talk about it around him because he's smart. He knows what's going on. So, he never went to, we live out in the country here, and we just would go to the doctor for physicals and stuff. He never had a medical record until this happened. And so the sad thing is I didn't even have a pediatrician because he's my 3rd kid, and I didn't have anybody to vouch for his behavior change medically wise. So they were like, oh no, you know, because he appeared to be just acting like a normal autistic behaviors, but tenfold. How, you know, it took all of his little quirks and 20 times sensory issues. He never had sensory issues. He never had any of these issues. I mean, if they were there, they were minimal. You know, I mean, a little bit. He, you know, took everything he had and just made it more. And every time he would get sick, see, eventually it just went up. Okay, so I took him to the doctor again. I was like, you know, we all have strep throat. And she goes, well, let me just give him antibiotics. And you all antibiotics. Because he probably had strep throat. And as soon as he got the antibiotics, all these symptoms just kind of faded away. And I, you know, it just was a couple months of him acting just like himself again. But with those little changes still. Something changed permanently. He couldn't sleep in his own room anymore. He still couldn't write. He still couldn't tie his shoes. He still couldn't do all these fine motor skills. And he was talking different. He was doing repetitive behaviors, but it wasn't as... There's so many levels to this thing he has. It ratchets up and then it ratchets down, but he remains changed. So anyways, now he's 16. I've been fighting with the doctors to get my son help. We've been going to UCSF. We live in California. We've been going to UCSF, all these doctors, trying to get some help for my boy. And now, you know, they just didn't really take me seriously. Because every single time he gets sick, you smell the medicine, you smell on your kid's breath. You know, when you have babies, you smell that sick smell. And every time he gets sick, I'm going to put this on the stove to cook. We cook this for 10 minutes, okay? Alright. Oh, shit. Ooh, sorry. Shoot. I'm going to put some spices in there. So anyways, we got the cumin, the garlic, let's get some salt. We need some salt. So anyways, I'm getting distracted. We gotta put a good amount of salt. We're gonna just do it to taste here. Finally, the doctors are seeing what's going on though. This last time, and so with each sickness, he gets worse and something gets left behind. He's having some type of damage. And so he would get sick and then he would lose another ability to do something. Or his cognitive function declined. And he would thank goodness his personality would come back. But when he gets sick, he can't do anything. He gets stuck. And I swear he had pandas. And I would tell all these doctors, my son has pandas, and it's look it up, but no one would believe me because it's a controversial thing. So they wouldn't do anything. And they're like, oh, they did all kinds of tests. We've had hundreds of tests just to prove me wrong almost. But nothing came up. He had genetics tests, everything. Nothing would pop up. I mean, and finally, this is the 4th year going on. He has really good doctors at Valley Children's Hospital that are trying to get referrals. All they could do is refer me, and everyone that they refer me to they want to pass the buck, right? They don't know what's going on, and they just don't want to handle it. They just blame it on, saying that's probably just how it is, but it's not. So now his doctors, because we had to get a pediatrician at 13 for this, she's seen the changes and she understands what I'm talking about now. And so this last time in November 2020, my son got really, really sick. Allergies will just do it. And he lost the ability to speak now. And he lost the ability to go to the bathroom. And thank goodness we've regained that, because that just was so hard. So we're on it's a wave, we go up and down, and we're on the mend now. It's like here's an example, it's like someone that has a stroke and has to recover. That's how he is. We'll put more salt in. Once we start cooking this, and to taste, we'll add as we go. And the only thing I'm going to end up adding is like cayenne pepper and red pepper and maybe some chili pepper, just all to taste. So I'm going to put this on the stove here in a bit. It's a lot. I got to try to mix it in. But so we found a new neurologist here where I live that was able to do different testing, and finally I have a diagnosis that's not good, but it's positive through tests, like it's proven. So what my son has is, in addition to his autism, which he's high functioning usually, is he has something called prolonged encephalopathy, which is degenerative brain disease caused by his infection, the immune system attacking his brain. So every time he gets sick, he loses function and damages him. And then what's happening, a side effect to all this, he has gotten something called catatonia, which he will have spells where he can't move or do anything. He gets stuck. And there's no forcing him. You can't make him move or do a thing. And the sad thing is he knows what's going on. He says, Mommy, why can't this stop? Mommy, why can't I get better? Mommy, I'm losing so much. I'm not having fun. And then so we had this new doctor's giving him new medicine, like steroids. And as soon as he was on that, he started remembering things. Like, Mom, did I lose 4 years? Mom, did I, what year is it, Mom? He doesn't have concept of time. He understands years, though. He doesn't know what 30 minutes or 10 minutes or a day or a week, but he knows years. And he's like, did I have my 16th birthday? I don't think I had fun at Christmas. He wants to have a big birthday party because he didn't remember when he turned 16. And we, normally we just have regular birthday parties, not big ones. We just go to dinner as a family, but because of so much going on, I'm going to try to have a big family birthday party, and I hope my family comes. I hope so. But he can't stay on this medicine for long because it affects your immune system, so he had to be taken off, which he's stable now, but they're trying to do, waiting on insurance to approve things is horrible, but they're trying to do IVIG infusions, which should help reverse or at least stop what's going on. So that's what we're doing right now. And then the catatonia, he has to have medicine for when that happens. It happens every single day of his life. Good days, it's from several minutes to an hour. Several times a day, he just will stare and can't move. And then on the bad times, when he's sick, when the encephalopathy takes over, it can last for days with little clarity in between to possibly maybe just eat and drink. So, and that we have medicine to keep him from doing that for days at least. So when he goes into the bad times, the medicine will help keep him from, it will bring him out of it if he ends up doing that. So hopefully that medicine we used, and it's stabilized him for now. So he only has small catatonic states throughout the day. But that's that. So if you see my little boy walking through and he acts funny, please don't make any comments. And I probably won't even answer them because I have so much. Right now he's asleep, so I'm able to do this. But if I don't answer or talk to anybody in the comments, it's because I just don't have the time. I just don't. So, or the energy to even get involved. I don't do drama, and that's another reason why all these years my daughter's like, you need to do this. And that's why I just don't want to get into the drama. For the most part, it's just going to be me canning and doing all the little things I do. Because this is what gives me joy, and this is my time just to relax, not worry, because we go through so much in life. Alright, I'm going to be cooking this, and then we'll start canning. I'm going to do about a cup of acid, let's just say per can of tomatoes I added. So I'm going to do 2 cups of apple cider vinegar and just one of these limes. I like the lime flavor. I'm going to add that to here. And I also added a handful of black pepper, like a little palm full right here of black pepper, and a palm full of red chili powder and cayenne. And just threw it in there. And now I'm going to add my cider vinegar. Right here, I got 2 German Shepherds. There you have 2 German Shepherd doggies, a boy and a girl. And so they wander around the house, in and out. But anyway, so my son also has Tourette's OCD along with these spells. So if he's staying, he's not there. But all day long he'll be doing movements, even during the spells, like multiple movements. And poor thing still can't talk. He hasn't talked. He was that kid that, like in Home Alone, the one that talked all the time, that was in that van asking questions before they left in the movie Home Alone, if you know what I'm talking about. Shandon, that's his name, and I call him a little bit. So if you hear me say bit, B-I-T, a little bit, that's me talking to him. But he was always asking questions. What's this? What's that? All in talking and telling stories and jokes. He has, I mean, he has the cutest little jokes. But he hasn't spoken since actually October sometime. So it's almost going on 8 months of finally after this medicine though, like he will use his vocal cords but only in repetitive phrases to give himself permission to do things before he will do anything. He'll like say repetitive vocal tics and he has to blink. It's like there's a block. The only way to get around this block to even speak these repetitive phrases is the blinking, you know. And then he will say, mommy, 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 is it okay to eat that thing, mommy? And they're all repetitive phrases, and he won't do anything or do anything new or eat anything new until he says a repetitive phrase 3 times, and that's all he'll say. There is no vocalizing anything except for, like I said, when he was on that medicine, he now has recently, maybe sporadically, will say, mommy, 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 did I miss 4 years, mommy? And that was one time in a week he spoke a sentence. Like all of a sudden he was able to break through and say that. So he's spoken 4 sentences in the last month. One was, did I lose 4 years? One was about his birthday and about Christmas and the year. And that's it. And occasionally, sporadically, and I hope that he can start talking again normally like he used to. But he'll say like a sentence about his worries, what he's worried about. But it's rare. For the most part, we play charades all day long, so he will, and he wants me to say yes, that everything's going to be okay over and over again. So if you hear me saying yes, 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 because he's signaling, asking me if everything's going to be okay. It's a Tourettic repetitive response he can't help but do, and he needs that reassurance. So I want to keep on doing these videos, but I just wanted to explain. And I know, you know, it might be boring to some of you people, but I just wanted to explain, like, why I might end up doing, you know, talking to my son or having to be preoccupied. I didn't want to explain it just this one time. So, that way it's people can reference to it, because I'm not going to respond and I'm not going to explain. Okay? All right. So, let's be cooking over here. And I'm stirring this, and we added our acids. So spice wise, we have pepper, salt, red pepper, chili pepper, that's the cayenne pepper, and we got some onion powder and garlic powder in here, and it tastes really good. Oh, and cumin. And I just put a bunch in to taste, like just a good, like palmful probably of each thing. Taste it. If it needs more, add more. I added the acids. It should be enough acid. And then now, what I'm going to do, so good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some tomato paste, I think. Thicken it up a bit because it's a little juicy, which is fine, but I want it a little bit thicker. So we're going to add some tomato paste. And then we'll get to canning. And I'm pausing now again. I keep on pausing. I'm using tattler lids with this. And I put boiling water in my tattler lids. Now, I've used these several times, and when you reuse them, you have to make sure you get them really clean. So use a washcloth like this, and really hot soapy water, and rub around your rubber gaskets and then your lids really good. Wash them, rinse them, then put them in a bowl with hot water. I add a little vinegar in it, and they're soaking in this really, really hot water, boiling water, waiting for me to start canning. So I got some tomato paste I want to add. I'm going to add 3 of these little things because it's just a little bit runny. My salsa, it looks really good, but it's just a little bit runny. So, I don't know, can you see? I can't move the camera because I don't know. Let me put, it's good. It looks real good, right? You see, but see that juice running off? I just want it a little bit thicker. Just a little bit thicker. Tastes really, really good. Has good flavors. Let me open this can up. Here we go. Open this can up. I got my jars in my water bath. Let me turn the heat back on. It was getting a little too hot. Just heating up, warming up a bit. You don't have to disinfect your jars if you're going to be water bathing for more than 10 minutes. So they're just really clean. I wash my jars after every use and put them in the cabinet upside down so they pretty much stay clean, and I just, you know, rinse them a little if I need to. And then I have metal canning lids, but you know, especially with tomatoes and salsa, I like, okay, so I use the tattler lids mainly on tomatoes, any tomato products, because you can recan those easily if the lid doesn't take. Because the more you can a tomato, the healthier it gets, actually. And so, and I also do it with my beans because I'm running out of chili, right? And so I'm gonna can up some regular beans, some refried beans, some black beans, all the beans I want to can up. I'm gonna use the tattler lids, and then whatever does not seal, because I always have a couple that don't. It's just how it is. I've been using them for 2 years now. But whatever doesn't seal, I just turn into chili, and then I can that because that's labor intensive. I just use regular lids on that. You know, your tin lids just seal a lot better without any corkiness, especially with chilies. For some reason, chili unseals on me, so I just do that. All right, let's add this tomato paste in there. Sorry, I had to get something. There we go. And just give a little bit more thickness to it and color too. I tried canning tomato paste from my garden 1 year. It was a long time, a few years back. And it took every single tomato I grew to make like 3 cans of this. So, the things I can everything, right? And I don't buy canned foods, but there's a few exceptions. I do buy canned tomato paste, and I do buy canned tomato sauce, because those things would take every single tomato I could ever grow and barely cover what I need. I mean, I could do it in a pinch, you know, and then sparsely use it, I guess, but, and you know, you just make sure you just don't get any with preservatives and all that jazz in there. And like, and you know, as you know, I'm using canned tomatoes. I'll use canned tomatoes for my salsa all the time. I don't ever want to be peeling tomatoes again. And then I don't even have enough tomatoes. But my garden tomatoes, which I grow tomatoes every year, I will use for like my my salads, my jarred salads I make. I use them for fresh salsa. We'll do fresh salsa in the summer. That's good. You know, and use it for sandwiches. You know, I'd much rather use my fresh ones that I grow for all those little needs. Alright, so we're going to stir that in here and mix that in real good. And then we're ready to start jarring up once I get this mixed in. Takes a little bit of elbow grease. This is a giant pot. I don't even know how big this pot is. It's pretty big. Pretty big. You know, this is the first year my daughter's not at home. And my son's been gone for almost 3 years now, my oldest son. So, I mean, it's still hard to go from cooking huge meals to just trying to cook a little bit. And I just can't do it. So, good thing I can, because I can can most of it up. Or freeze leftovers, but... So, I just don't know how to cook small. But this salsa... My youngest loves salsa to snack on. That's like his favorite snack. So he'll have like a jar every 2 days. So this will last me maybe half a year. And then I'll have to do it again. Alright, I think I'm going to take a whisk to it. Can't get the dang whisk out. I can't get the whisk out. My kitchen is a working kitchen. If you know what that means it is not going to be spotless, but it'll be sanitary. So, I sanitize, I clean up, but I got something going on all the time. So, it's not going to be like your model kitchen. It's my country kitchen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Alright. I think we got it. I think I got it. Okay. That's some cilantro stuff in there. Alright, so let's get our jars and start jarring up. I'll get one jar out, show you, and then I'll pick up from after I jar everything, okay? So let me get my, where's my, well, it'd be nice if I found my, okay, let me just pause you while I find my jar lifter. Here, getting warm in this water. So yeah, we'll do a couple jars for you. 1.5 pints, and we're doing it for quart times, and that's 20 minutes water bath. So, according to my recipe book, 20 minutes water bath. Alright, so we're gonna bring it on over here. Oh, big old pot. Okay. Let me wash this off real fast with this paper towel. Make sure it's clean. I used it earlier. There we go. Okay. So let me taste it one more time to make sure it's good. We'll taste it with this. Here, let's show you. You can see the consistency looks good. Put more to flavor there, but it thickened it up real nice. Not too thick, you don't want it too thick. Okay, let me taste it one more time. Ooh, that's good. Good. A little spicy, a little salty. Add it to my jar. I'm going to leave 1 inch headspace. 1 inch headspace, and that's usually the first ring. With tattlers, you have to leave 1 inch, no matter what. So if you got a little more, then take it out. So you gotta have that 1 inch with tattlers, no matter what the recipe says. Okay, got 2 jars going here. Okay, a little more in there. Okay, go on this side. I'm gonna just do 3 jars for you, and then I'll come back after I put them in the water. Well, actually, yeah, let me tighten those lids up for you to show you how I do that, how we roll with that, huh? A little bit of vinegar. Rub the rim. Make sure it's clean. Okay, and then we're going to grab our tattler lids. Let me get my tongs. I put my tongs way over here. I don't know why I did that. There we go. They're on the other side of the kitchen. Okay. I'll grab these tongs. Okay, 1 lid. Put it on. Center it. Let me get my bands. I have my bands in my drawer here. Okay. I'm going to dip the bands in the hot water too, just get it warm up. Warm up a bit. I like to do that. Alright. Okay. Get on. Put my finger right there to hold it centered. And then I just go until it stops, like that. And then just a bit more. Because if you don't do that a little bit more, they pop off. But you don't want to do it too tight or it'll pop off too because you have no vent. So that should be just right. Alright. Do another one. Center it. Put the rubber lid on. Big finger right there to keep it from moving. Oops, that one. One seems a little rough there. There we go. It turns and then I hold it and I tighten it just a little bit more. Keep it from, oh, see, that didn't work out. Make sure we don't have 2 gaskets, which I did. These little suckers, you gotta watch out for that. See, that's little, I've done that a couple times, and then I come to the end and I find I'm missing a gasket and I have to retake them all out to find the dang gasket. So try to save yourself some time and watch for that. Alright, here we go. Now, a little bit there. There we go. Put that in there. Then on to the next one. My water's cooling down so I can use my hands. Alright, put that on. Center it. Hold it. Turn. When it's rough, I just try to redo it to make sure I get enough turns. Okay, like that, and then turn it just a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to put you on pause while I do the rest. so I got them all in the water bath canner right over here. And I'm going to set them in. There we go. If I can get them in. Oh, you know what? I got one too many. One too many. Take that one out. Looks like it'll fit, but with these things, sometimes. Oh, thank goodness I did that because one popped off already. Alright, let's try it again. Let's get them in. The water bath canner. There. Hopefully it all goes good. I won't stalls all over that water. This one came off. I'm gonna dip it in this hot water real fast. Wash it. I think it just popped off when I was lowering it and I got hooked on the side of the pot. Well, it might have been good that that happened. Okay, so I'm going to bring this to a rolling boil. And then once it's boiling, we will start the timer for 20 minutes. And then I'll come back after it's done. Okie dokie. It's been boiled in there for 20 minutes. I shut the heat off, let it rest, and cool down a bit for about another 10 minutes. Now I'm going to take them out. Hopefully they all seal. We're gonna have to get a rag to tighten down those tattler lids as we take them out here. So let's see. My water looks clean, so that's a good sign. There's one. Two. And what I do is I take a few out before I start tightening it. Give it time to evacuate any extra air. 3. And so I'll do 3 and then I'll tighten this one. So tighten it real good, as much as you can. I can't, my camera angle is not very good. So you just take it and you twist and tighten it down, ratchet. And do the next ones. Tighten that. It's really good head space. I don't have any siphoning. It looks really, really good. Looks really pretty. My lighting is just so horrible. But use what you have, huh? Next one. Tighten these ones down. Maybe I can, if I get a better angle, it might fall, my camera might fall. So I'm tightening these ones down. My face, my tightening face. Okay. Tighten these ones down. 2 more to get out. They already look like, so with tattlers, the plastic seal, like at the top, it bows down. So you can pretty much tell if you're going to get a seal based on it, you can just see it getting not as flat. Tighten it. As soon as you tighten it, you can see it sucking down. One more. Okay. See? Really pretty. There we go. Now if you see a little, like, I don't know if you can tell, there's like a little like air bubble. It's not air. There's no more air in here. So what happens when you boil, and you can, steam displaces air. So basically what's left is just empty space. And it's okay. This is not like it's just empty space that's left in here. If you have the proper headspace and enough fluid or liquid in there to create the steam to displace the air, you should be good. And don't worry about little like space gaps, or what people would be like, oh, air gaps. It's not. It's just, it's space. And I didn't debubble the salsa because it's liquidy and it's fine. But if you want to be safe, then go ahead and debubble. Alright, and that is that, and I have a whole lot more to do, and I'm gonna just restart the process all over again. Okay, so this is it, and I'm sure they all sealed. There's an indentation I was talking about in each one of them. So if they don't seal, I'll update you, but I'm pretty sure they all did. I'm pretty good at knowing by now. So I'm happy there. And if they didn't, you can redo it, because tomatoes are one of those things that you can always recan a few times without it, getting messed up. Alright. Thanks for listening, and I'll make another one. Bye-bye.